Now, the Government of India is all set to table the Waqf Amendment Bill 2024 in the Lok Sabha to amend the Waqf Act of 1995. NewsX has exclusive access to the proposal, which suggests that the word Waqf should be substituted with unified Waqf management, empowerment, efficiency and development in the Principal Act enacted in 1995. In the next few minutes, I'm going to take you through the proposed changes in the draft. Through the insertion of Section 3A2, the proposal aims to ensure that the creation of Waqf al-Aulad does not lead to the denial of inheritance rights to women. By proposing the amended Section 3 of this bill, the Centre wishes to provide functions of the Survey Commissioner to the Collector or to other officers not below the rank of a Deputy Collector. The proposed amendments in Section 9 suggest providing a broad-based composition of the Central Waqf Council and the State Waqf Board, thereby ensuring representation of Muslim women and non-Muslims as well. The draft proposal also includes the vision of establishing a separate board of Oqad for Bohras, the Agakanis and the other Muslim minorities. Additionally, the draft proposal includes amendments in Section 14 to provide equal representation of Shias, Sunnis, Bohras, Aghanis and other backward classes amongst the Muslim community. They also wish to streamline the manner of registration of Waqf through a central portal and extensive database. It has also been proposed to decrease the annual contribution from 7% to 5%, payable to the board of Mutawali of every Waqf with the net annual income of nothing below 5,000 rupees. Moreover, the proposed draft appeals to omit Section 108 and 108A relating to special provision as the evacuation of Waqf properties and act to have an overriding effect. Will the question that arises is, if this proposed bill were to pass, what kind of an impact will it have? Let's start off our conversation on the telecast with me is Firoz Bakht Ahmed. And Firoz Bakht Ahmed, if you could make our audience understand the conceptualization of the Waqf Board in the past and how has its evolution been in the last several years of its existence?
All right, thank you. Am I speaking to Megha?
Yes, sir.
Megha, let me tell you one thing. You told certain parameters of the new, this Waqf bill. In fact, there was the need of this for a very long time. What actually had been happening in the previous Waqf board or the system of Waqf board in India was that the very people, the very officers or even the lawyers who were looking after their petitions, these people only frittered away the land, the big chunks of land in freebies, almost freebies. And I think on your channel only, day before yesterday or maybe yesterday, I gave you some certain examples. And one more example, seeding example, I'll give you of Chandni Chowk. It's a very famous, Shahjahanabadi Bazaar market in Old Delhi. Now, there's a masjid, very famous also, Mughlai Masjid, known as Fatehpuri Masjid. Around that mosque, Megha, there are hundreds of shops, double-story shops, and each shop is worth 10 to 20 crore of rupees. Now, these people from the Waqf board, these officers, they have taken pagri, they have filled their coffers, and they have given these expensive shops, say something like 100 rupees per month, 74 rupees per month, or maybe something like that. Now, this is not going to be, and the government has come to know of it. Now, this Waqf property was actually meant for, for single mothers, for poor students, for the upkeep of khankahas, of mosques, of, various other places of religious and social importance, where, this money was left by emperors, by sultans over the years for the upkeep so that the poor people of the community are taken care of. It was not being done. Someone used to become mutawalli. Things of these kind had been happening. And when, a lot of it was there, and I think at the right time, the government has taken out this bill. And after this bill is taken out, again this is again this diatribe of Hindu Muslim, Islam khatre mein hai, Musalman khatre mein. This is nothing of that kind. Whatever land of
Okay.
and let me tell you finally, last 5 seconds, Megha, that if some survey is done, from the survey, many properties will come back to Waqf board, and then they should charge the kind of the kind of money which they actually frittered away. This should come back to the poor masses of Muslim community, and the Muslim community will benefit. A lot of money will come to the coffers of this Waqf board, and after that it will be able to spend that money honestly. There are students who actually can't give fee for exorbitant fees, maybe of engineering, of medicine, of other courses, of maybe opting out for India to universities like Harvard or maybe Balliol's College or Brown's. So Waqf property was meant to meet all these expenses. Unfortunately, none of these was being done, and that's why this change in Waqf board, and this present Waqf board should be dissolved. New Waqf board should be constituted of honest people, of those God-fearing people who should not eat into the property of these poor widows and poor children of Muslim community.
Okay. Okay. Firoz Bakht Ahmed, I want to understand from you, there are certain terms that may be alien to the general public. And if you could shed light into, when we talk about, building a separate board of Awqad for Bohras and Aga Khanis, why is there a requirement of a separate board, and why it should not be part of the Waqf board itself?
Unfortunately, the community is divided into many sects. It is said that Muslims are divided into 72 sects. God, Allah never divided Muslims into so many sects. According to God, according to the Holy Quran, according to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his hadiths, we are just one community. And dividing, Shia, Sunni, and all these, names which you have taken, this is un-Islamic. After all, Mehdis and whatnot, if this division is done, it is done because these people are not, they are not considered to be a proper part of Muslim community, which is very sad. Whether these are Bohras or anyway, if something is being done for them, it should be done by the government because, Waqf Act or Waqf law is one thing, but ultimately, the ultimate and the final law is the law that was written by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, which we are all following. So this, division of, this Waqf Act into various parameters is the need of the hour.
Okay. I also have with me Naveen Chomal. He is a senior lawyer. And Naveen, if you could help us break down this draft, how is it different from the traditional Waqf board bill? And do you think there could be challenges that could be faced by the government in being able to pass it in both houses?
Definitely, I don't see government will have a smooth sailing or a cakewalk in the entire matter because of the vested interest of several political parties who are trying to appease the Muslim vote bank particularly, and their eye is not on the welfare of the Muslims, as our learned friend Shri Firoz Bhai is saying. Like his endeavor is to ensure that any act that comes or amendment that comes, ultimately it should end up in simplifying the matter and meeting the ends of that particular act of work, that the benefit should go to the poor and deserving Muslims. But the political parties, we know, we are very wiser by the experience that they are not interested in the welfare of the Muslim community, but in appeasement of the particular sect of who are controlling the minds of Muslim voters, that is the Mullah Maulvis. So they will definitely oppose the changes in the Waqf board, particularly section 40 that is being sought to be amended to constitute a board where basically the board will be governed by some legal people, independent people, and it will be not left in the sole hands and discretion of the Muslim people who decide the properties, and they will have vested or other conflict of interest in the entire matter. So if we are acting under a law and under a constitution, so there has to be a fairness in this particular body will be body as governed by the law and not governed by a particular acts of people from one particular community who's trying to usurp the properties of the other people also. So this particular changes will be very sweeping changes. And as rightly discussed just now, it is also proposed that there will be a certain classification for the Bora community and the Aga Khan community. So definitely, those people are having some different sort of what is it, beliefs. Though of course they are all from the Islam faith, and as Firozji rightly pointed out that in the eyes of God we all are one. So there cannot be any distinction even if we see the Muslim community. But
Okay.
since these people are trying to have a different what is it, belief, and the Sunni community also doesn't consider themselves to be those people to be same Muslims. So there is going to be some difference between them. So government may try to what you say target both the sides in that particular amendments. So let us see how the bill is proposed. But as you rightly questioned, I'm not going to see any what is smooth sailing for the government. There is going to be stiff opposition.
Okay.
At least there will be a lot of playing to the gallery.
A very important aspect that has been spoken a lot about is about women empowerment and the rights of women when it comes to inheritance of property. The traditional Waqf Board bill, how does it hinder women to take over property? And it's not just about the Waqf Board, but when it comes to the Muslim personal law boards, women are not entitled to inherit property.
Exactly. In fact, the changes that are being sought through the Uniform Civil Code, they are also basically aimed to bring uniformity in all communities in the country, whether it be Hindus, means Hindu being including all Jains, Sikhs, and Vaishnavas, everybody in Hindus. Same way, the Christian community as well as Muslim community, and the whatever rights the Hindu woman enjoys, the same rights should be enjoyed by Muslim woman also. So, for example, in Hindu community, earlier there was used to be notional share for the woman, and they used to get lesser share. But Supreme Court ruled long back only that the daughters they will get equal share. So there was no uproar in the Hindu community. They all agreed very well. Since the court and it has come fallen from the court, we have agreed to it. So it has come in a very smooth way in the Hindu community. So same way it should go in the Muslim community also. That our Muslim sisters should also get equal rights. What Hindu women are getting, or like what the Christian women are getting, or Parsi women are getting. So the Uniform
Okay.
Civil Code will definitely, and in the Waqf Act amendment, it is also proposed that in the Waqf Board there shall be a basic representation of women also who would what to say represent the woman side also in the board.
Okay, interesting. Firoz Bakht Ahmed, do you think bringing about these proposed changes in the Waqf Board bill, especially the ones pertaining to women that will allow for women to inherit property, resolve the larger picture of women being treated as second class within the Muslim community?
All right. This is a very sensitive question, and let me congratulate Mr. Naveen, who has, in fact, spoken very sensibly on this aspect of women being included in Waqf Board. Now, with my eyes welled up in tears, let me share a secret of my personal life. Since Mr. Chomar has actually, talked about women. In my childhood, my father, Nuruddin Ahmad Saab, who was the nephew of Maulana Azad, his elder brother's son, he deserted my mother, Nazuk Jahan Begum, and he lived in Kolkata. My mother and my aunt, Taisar Jahan Begum, they brought me up, thanks to God. Now, at that time, my mother was a teacher. She was a triple MA in English, economics, and Urdu. Right? No, history, economics, and Urdu. So she brought me up, and my mother, she used to go to every month to the this office, this Waqf Board office of Daryaganj, and there she used to be given a stipend of 50 rupees per month. So it can help women like anything. And with my attachments of Waqf Board, how my mother used to get rupee 50 stipend in my childhood, so it can do a lot of good to women. It should do. There are single mothers, right? There are girls who want to do certain courses, maybe NIFT, maybe in Fiji, or they want a lot of money for Akash and things like that. If this amendment comes properly and rightly also pointed out by Mr. Naveen, that government should look to it, that it is at last now, it should be taken in the right spirit, and all those people, maybe from ND parties or from the opposition, from any other, maybe from the Red Brigade of Communists, if they try to interfere in it, they should be told it is in general good of Muslim women, of poor Muslim men, of poor Muslim men and poor Muslim students. So this bill should, I believe that it should pass in the parliament
Okay.
tomorrow, and in fact, the opposition should also be sensible about it. Whatever you have spoken about it, the parameters which will be included in it, it is all for the benefit of Muslim community. If Muslim community goes ahead, right, if it becomes educated, if it is satisfied and happy, then India will also go ahead, right? India will also become Jagat Guru. So I believe this is a good step. And all those people who say, hi, Musalman khatam ho jayega, hi, Islam pe khatra hai, I think that Muslims should not trust people like Owaisi and many others, right, who are blowing hot and cold about this new Waqf bill. So ultimately, it should come, and it should be for the good, and for excellence in all walks of life for the Muslim community, that is poor Muslim community.
Okay. Taibra Hassan, I'm going to particularly speak with you about the benefits this proposed bill will bring for the women.
Megha?
For the women. I'll come back to you, sir. Taira, how do you view this bill, the proposals that have been made for the amendments, and how does this particularly help women empowerment within the Muslim community?
I welcome this move that women should be inclusion of the women in Waqf boards. But that should not be mega symbolic, I'm saying to you. They keep the women who are the puppet of their heads. They speak what they want. There must be inclusion of the women who are vocal, who are working in the community, and they know the areas where this welfare is needed, because Waqf board has a property, the land that has been given by the people of the country, by their will, out of their choice or will. So that is supposed to be for the upliftment of the poor people, upliftment of the community. They are supposed to support the schools, colleges, musafir khanas and hospitals. So there should be accountability must be fixed, that how many hospitals they are running, how many schools they are running, how many musafir khanas they are running, how they are benefiting our poor women, single women, divorcee women, widows, what they are doing, what kind of programs they are running for our girls, for their upliftment, computer courses, fashion designing courses, what they are doing. This thing must be clear to all of us. It's not like that Waqf board is sitting and they're only benefiting themselves. Their heads are just making money, no benefit for the poor. This should not be done. I mean, accountability must be fixed on them. For that, it's not the government, only under the government should make their puppets to sit. It is not like that. Any government, before that some other government was there. So there should be the people who are working, who are really working in the welfare of the poor Muslim community. They should be encouraged. Not the people who are just making propaganda.
How do we ensure when the Waqf board is elected that there is participation that is promised, that is ensured of the poorer communities, of the underprivileged communities? Now, with this proposal that has been made, it becomes mandatory. It becomes mandatory for these communities like the Bohra community or the Aga Khalis, as they are called, Aga Khan community, the women as well. So is this sign of encouragement and transformation that is going to begin with this proposed amendment?
Yeah, I think again I will say that women are marginalized in all communities, you know. So the women and the Muslims women are most marginalized. So if the inclusion of the Muslim women in the work board who are really working for the upliftment of the community, you know, and who have knowledge about the areas I'm saying where the work is needed and who can raise the voice if the something is wrong is going on, if the encroachment of the land of Waqf land is there, if the office bearers are making money, they can say, no, this is not a way. Our sisters need this money. You must do that.
Yeah.
They should raise the voice and there must be accountability. Government must fix on them. When these voices come from the Waqf board, government must take a step. But when they keep the women who are puppet, do you think, Megha, they are going to raise the voice? No, not
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
No, changes are not going to make any benefit then.
Okay, all right. Naveen Chomal, coming back to you now, how you've spoken about the Uniform Civil Code, you're talking about the right for women to inheritance of property, talking about the changes that are going to be proposed, and in all likelihood the bill going to be passed in the parliament. But as Tahira said that, you know, this is all well and good on paper. The test the litmus test here is on the actual application of these changes, and there has to be the community level awareness that needs to be created. There need to be Muslim leaders within the communities that need to show their community, the people, the right direction, and only then can actual real changes be benefited for the people who are the beneficiaries.
Definitely, Megha ji. There is a saying, the taste of pudding lies in its eating. So I was actually trying to echo the voice of Sri Firoz Ahmed ji, because when he was saying, he was very rightly pointing out that there should be a welfare of the Muslim woman also from the trust property, sorry, the work properties. Because see, ultimately, the government, whichever is in power, if it has to rule, it has to form the legislations which are for the welfare of the entire society. Because as per our constitution, we are not a police state, but we are a welfare state. That means the government is entrusted with the responsibility of welfare of every section of the society. Of course, I am a BJP supporter. There is no doubt about it. I will not miss the word. But please let me draw the analogy or what is the distinction between the two regimes. The earlier Congress regimes, they were focusing only on the vote bank of the Muslim community, and see, they have always ensured that they appeal to a particular class of mullah maulvis who are controlling the votes of the Muslim community, who are, what you say, giving dictates, and ultimately there used to be injustice on the Muslim woman for a long time. We have seen in umpteen number of cases. But now, if the government has to prove its, what you say, real caliber, so as you rightly questioned me, what the government will be doing, it should be seen in the legislation first. So, if the amendment which the government is proposing, if we see in the amendment that there are steps which are actually going to benefit a Muslim woman, that means they are trying to uplift the standard of entire Muslim community, because once the Muslim women are, what you say, protected and their well-being is taken care of, the Muslim community itself will be benefited. So then the government should go into the public and convince the people, the Muslim community, that look, this particular amendment is not for any political purpose, but it is for the welfare of the society, a large section of society, say around 20% Muslim in our country. So first the pudding should be before the parliament. Let us see what the amendments are proposed.
Okay, all right.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.